What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Monoposto Driver Career Mode. And today we are back once again for the Belgian Grand Prix in the 2026 season. This is round 11 of 20, so that's right, we are officially past the halfway point of the season, and this is the final race before the summer break, which may be a matter of days in real life, because obviously I'm thoroughly enjoying this series at the moment, and it's getting very exciting as we get ever closer to the climax of this season. And the main thing to note today is that this is the second 35% race of the season. That's right, as opposed to doing 25% races in every Grand Prix this year, I decided and announced at the start of the year that we'd be trialling 35% races on 3 separate occasions as opposed to the usual 25% races. Monaco we've done, Spa, which is today, and the final one, which is Qatar, which is much later on in the season, possibly the penultimate race if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Anyway, so as opposed to doing the standard 11 laps in a 25% race, today we are going to be doing 15 laps of the iconic circuit Spa-Francorchamps. I mean, what a place this is. You can see even, in the background as I'm doing laps, the elevation change through the middle of the Ardennes forest. It really is one of my favourite circuits, definitely. Formula 1 is not the same without Spa. Anyway, we come into this race on the back of some decent form. We've had 2 very decent races, ignoring that blip in the background. Of course, we won the British Grand Prix, our home race, back in round 9, and at the previous race in Hungary, it was a tough Grand Prix with harsher tyre wear than expected. However, I still managed to come home on the podium in 3rd. So 2 successive podiums, and I'm hoping to continue the run today. What I will say though is that initially I've made it very difficult for myself. We've only qualified in P8. Obviously we're not far off the pace, only 3/10 behind my teammate Ocon, who, and I had to double check this, has taken his first ever career pole position by 1 millisecond at the expense of Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso. So it was so tight at the front. Lando Norris in P3, Alex Albon and Teo Pourchaire have both done very well to get up into P4 and P5. Then it's Sainz and Gasly, and then myself, and then Tsunoda also in the top 10 once again. So yeah, as I said, I was 3/10 off the pace in qualifying, which isn't a lot. It's a fair amount in this season, especially as that's my teammate. It wasn't the best lap. I know I've got much better pace than that. I have much more to give. However, because of course the grid is so close, one tiny little error can cost you lots and lots of places, because once again the whole grid's covered by just under a second. So it really is all to play for in this Grand Prix. We're starting 8th, although we have one of arguably the best car with Aston Martin. Let's just go full send. Let's just see what happens. 35% race, so that's a lot of time to make some progress up the order. I'm going to start on the mediums. 5 red lights are on, and they're out, and we're underway for the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's not the best start. Tsunoda's had a better launch than me. He's on the hard compound tyres. Going into turn 1, though, everyone's going to be braking and going very slowly, but Tsunoda's crashed, and we've been caught up in that. We've lost the front wing, and we're facing backwards. As if it couldn't get any worse, this Grand Prix for us at the start. It's an absolute nightmare. I left as much space as I possibly could. I don't know if someone went up the inside and cannoned into Tsunoda and I just got caught up in it. I know it wasn't Yuki's fault, because I think he was trying to leave space for some idiot who was doing the suicide run up the inside of turn 1, and then that crashed into him and there was nowhere I could go. I just got collected, so we're now just getting dropped off the back. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. This is going to be such a lonely race, and by the end of the lap, the tyres are screaming for help. We're 27 seconds behind Daruvula, who's the nearest runner. So into the pits we come. Obviously, we're getting a new front wing. Going on to the hards, I think they might be able to get to the end. The tyre wear this weekend seems to have been back to normal. It was a bit of a weird spike we had last race at the Hungaroring, where it was randomly extremely high for that one Grand Prix. However, now we seem to be back, hopefully, to the sort of normal sort of tyre compounds, the normal levels of tyre wear we've come to expect. But that's the first incident I've had, I think, since the opening Grand Prix. So, I've got much better this year in terms of, trying to stay out of trouble. However, now we cut all the way over to lap 6. and I finally have human contact. Drogovic pitted and came out behind me. I'm just going to make a nice dive bomb up the inside of Daruvula. I have been just doing qualifying laps non-stop, absolutely on the limit. I've already picked up a couple of track limits warnings. I've also set the fastest lap in my attempt to try and catch up. After pit stops from De Vries and Sargent, by the time we're ending lap number 7, about to start onto lap number 8, and I'm trying to make some more progress on the Williams as we keep the foot flat to the floor through Blanchimont, and we're going to fly at the inside of the Williams of Jake Hughes. There has been such a disappointing year for the team from Oxfordshire. They've just had the worst car. They're the one team who really has never had a single chance of points in the entire season. I think a couple of other guys have made pit stops. I've now caught up to Max Verstappen. This is on lap 9, I want to say. So, you know, we're already on lap 9 of 15. We're only 6 minutes into the video and sort of 3 minutes into the race. However, believe me, this is what you came for. Up the inside of Verstappen. You can tell by the title there's some mental racing, and I mean it. The closing stages of this Grand Prix is absolutely breathtaking. And I mean it. Anyway, this is my old teammate George Russell from last season. Of course, when we were a Mercedes driver, we're going up the inside on the battery there. I'm just trying to make as quick progress as I possibly can. Need to be as brave as possible, keeping the foot flat to the floor, and we're making more progress. We're making quick progress, which is nice. Now onto the start of lap 10. Mick Schumacher in the Ferrari has just come out of the pits behind me on fresh soft tyres. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that. I've got no battery left because I've been using it to try and catch up, and Verstappen just makes light work of me again. So although I do seem to be very quick in the middle sector, so hopefully there should still be another opportunity for me to try and catch up to these guys and hopefully possibly re-overtake them during the course of this lap. Also, I noticed that Schumacher has a 5-second penalty, so I wonder if he was the driver who caused the collision with Tsunoda. He did start only 2 grid slots behind Yuki, so it is very possible that he was the one who was going up the inside and caused him to crash into me, which is why he was given the penalty by the stewards. Anyway, round the outside of Pouon on Verstappen, Max kept his foot in for as long as possible. Although I just seem to be absolutely supremely confident around this track this weekend. I just absolutely loved it, to be honest. Even the laps I wasn't showing, just being able to throw this car around qualifying lap after qualifying lap all the way around the outside of Piastri there, and that's another absolutely fabulous overtake. As we're going to cut onto lap 11, and the driver in front of me next is the Alfa Romeo Penske of Zhou Guanyu, still the only Chinese driver to ever race in Formula 1. Once again, same attitude with everyone else, not wasting any time, although to be fair, he manages to hang around the outside. Perhaps those mediums are fairly fresh, although I get an absolutely super run out of there. Now using a little bit of battery, although I am going to commit all the way to the inside of Pouon. That's another move at that part of the circuit, and now I've got the 2 Ferraris in front of me and Dennis Hauger, who's holding them up a little bit in that Ford performance car, which is very slow. The Norwegian's done very well at times this season to really try and drag that car close to the points in places where, to be honest, it shouldn't be. All the way around the outside of Leclerc, almost making contact there with the Monegasque driver as he tries to hang on. I've got a little bit of battery left to use. Now I'm going to deploy it. Almost ran into the back of him there. Kind of had to swerve out the way. I wasn't quite sure which way he wanted to move his car, although we're going wheel to wheel all the way through Blanchimont. I'm kind of out of ERS. The Scarlet Ferrari still going side by side with me, although into the final chicane. Of course, Mr. Spitfire is the last of the late breakers, and I'm going to get that move done up into P11, and I can smell some points in this race still somehow as we're starting lap number 12, 4 to go. It's definitely game on. You know, we've managed to drag ourselves right back into this race. We've had really good pace throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix. Unusually, I thought that time, rather than go for the dive bomb, I'd sacrifice my entry to get a better exit, and sure enough, that worked. That was a very, very simple manoeuvre past the Ford performance car, although once again, Schumacher's getting away, so I am trying to have to chase after the German driver a little bit in this race, although with my pace in the middle sector, it wasn't very hard to catch up to him, and I do feel like those soft compound tyres are becoming a little bit second-hand now, as I'm going to use a little bit of battery that I do have remaining to get myself up into P9. Don't forget, I started in P8, so the fact that I've almost managed to recover to my starting position after being 40 seconds down at the end of lap 1 and had to make a pit stop is an absolutely fantastic recovery drive, if I do say so myself. Schumacher managed to stay ahead of that time though. Now as we cut onto lap 13, I might try and have a look at him for another chance here, trying to go down the inside of Pouon. Surely not again. Is that the 3rd time today that I've managed to get that move done? Although I think the German driver's got some ERS remaining as he actually sends it back down the inside. I think there's almost a little bit of contact made there. We're going wheel to wheel all the way through the middle sector, and the Ferrari gets the pass done. There's nothing I can do about that other than try and wait. So, you fair play to him. Overall though, despite the attempts to try and upgrade that car, he hasn't got the underlying pace of the Alpine, the upgrades we have, and I can fly past him with the RS again. Although, he's managed to stay right with me. He's causing me a little bit of a headache now as we're trying to go up through Eau Rouge and Radion. I've got absolutely 0% battery remaining. It's going to be a simple DRS pass for Schumacher here, and he's going to retake P8 away from me. However, you might be wondering, why am I fighting him so hard when I only need to finish within 5 seconds of him to take the place? The reason is, I just want to beat him on track. To be honest, it's for pride more than anything, and to say that I genuinely recovered to this position on track, just to kind of demonstrate, go out and make a statement and show off some, fantastic racing for the fans, some fantastic overtakes. We're going again here. We're going to try and go all the way around the outside. These hard tyres are never wearing out. Schumacher's still there, we're going wheel to wheel down towards Pouhon, and this corner round the outside seems to be where there is the most grip, and that's going to be another move for me as we now move over to our race winner, and for the first time since 2025 and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, behind the safety car, it's going to be defending world champion who's going to win for McLaren. Pierre Gasly takes the Belgian Grand Prix from 7th on the grid. The Frenchman has dethroned his French rival Ocon, who started from pole. That's a brilliant race for the McLaren outfit, because they haven't been fighting up near the front all season. That's such a good race. They deserve that. They've been kind of dark horses. They have been quick at times. Piastri a couple of podiums. I think Gasly's featured on the rostrum at some point as well. But that's so well deserved. It's great to see McLaren trying to finally make upgrades and get themselves back into contention. Anyway, we're going to cross the line in P8 where we started, and I'm absolutely delighted with that recovery drive. Really pleased. We get the bonus point for fastest lap as well, so that's 5 points. That is the definition of a damage limitation Grand Prix. When you have a lap 1 like we had, there's only so much you can do, and that's just do qualifying laps until you try and recover, try and catch up to the back of the field, to the back of the slower cars, and we did that today. I would also like to give a notable mention to the Audi Sport team for a fantastic 2-3 today. Sainz and Lando Norris both doing really good races. Alonso P4, Ocon drops to P5. I have a feeling my teammate will be very disappointed with that. And then also keep the applause going for Yuki Tsunoda. That's only his 2nd points finish of the season. I believe his first one was all the way back in like Bahrain or something, so way back right at the start of the season when he finished P10. He only had 1 point before this Grand Prix today. Tsunoda finished in P6, so that takes his tally to 9 points for the season. So it's really good to see Yuki, because he's had a lot of bad luck, because I think there's times, when he's qualified comfortably inside the top 10 and then he's not at the race pace, or the strategy's gone wrong, or something's not quite gone right for him, and it's meant that he's been denied of scoring points. So it's good to see that he's finally got a reward for his hard work, which is largely going unnoticed simply because he's had a lot of bad luck. I don't think he made a pit stop today, which is why he was able to, of course, get P6. He stayed on the hard tyres, what he started on in that race, despite being caught up in the incident. Maybe he didn't get any damage that he felt he had to replace or that the team could repair. So, yeah. I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I'm the one who's not involved in the incident, who just gets collected and gets the most damage, but even so, I'm not going to complain anymore, because I did my absolute best with that recovery drive and definitely maximised that Grand Prix. We got 5 points. The best thing is Alonso and Ocon only got 12 and 10 points respectively, so we're still only 13 points off the championship lead, as you can see. So it really is all to play for. The next race will be at the Italian Grand Prix, and that's going back to a 25% race. But guys, if you are enjoying this series, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. We're almost at 1k, so let's keep the support coming. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram or join my Discord server. You can find the relevant links down in the description below, and I'll see you guys all next time at the home of Ferrari. Goodbye.